Hey Boat Dragons, I'm so glad that you've joined me today. I am here to bring you my monthly update. We are wrapping up the month of January 2025 and we're going to talk about stuff that I'm going to be doing in February as well. So you know the drill. If you've got snacks or drinks that you want to be consuming while you watch my video, please grab those now and we're going to get right to it. I'll give you a couple seconds while I put my eyes on here. If you need to pause the video, that's fine. Go grab a drink from the fridge or whatever. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Here we go. We're going to start by talking about what I read in January and a little bit about what I didn't read. So the first book I want to get out of the way right away is Shogun. I read Shogun by James Clavell in January and I was just blown away. It was a magnificent book, probably going to be on my top 10 books of the year. I know it's early to say that. It's only the end of January at this point, so anything can happen between now and December, but that's just how much I love the book, and I really hope you guys will check it out. If you want to watch my review, you can check that out. I'll leave it in the cards at the end of the video, and hopefully you'll enjoy that review. I also read Poirot Investigates by Agatha Christie. This is a collection of short stories featuring Hercule Poirot, the famous Belgian detective created by Agatha Christie. And it's a great collection. I really enjoyed it. And I did do a book review for that as well. And surprisingly, it's gotten a ton of views, way more than I thought it would get. So apparently people like Hercule Poirot out there. And if you do, shout out in the comments, let me know. I'll be making more videos about Poirot in the future because I am doing that buddy read with my friend Mona Lisa over at Mona Lisa Reads. We're reading through all the Poirot books. So this was one of those. She joined me on this one. I really enjoyed reading that book and I hope you'll check out the review for that as well. And then I read The Hobbit on audio, and this is a reread for me. Of course, I've read The Hobbit before. I've read it 3 times before this, I think, but I wanted to experience it on audio because I heard Andy Serkis is just a fantastic narrator. My goal had been to reread The Lord of the Rings this year as well with the audio, but then I'm like, well, maybe I should just reread The Hobbit first since I'm rereading Lord of the Rings, just get that out of the way. And so I did the audiobook and I absolutely loved it, guys. Andy Serkis is an absolutely brilliant narrator. Not only does he do the voice of Gollum just like he did it in the movies, but he does all the other voices really, really good. And he sings the songs. I mean, you can't have an audiobook for The Hobbit without the songs being sung. And I'm assuming he does the same for Lord of the Rings. I have not started that one yet, but just know it's fantastic. You should check out the audiobook for The Hobbit if you have not already, unless you don't like audiobooks, which I get. It's fine, but it's well worth a listen. And then I had one other book that I had planned to read for the month of January, and that is Paternus by Dirk Ashton. And this was a reread for me as well, guys. It came up in my Stein of Power for me to reread a book. So I did that, or at least I started it, and it just wasn't working for me. And I had read the book before, so I know I liked the book, but I just wasn't feeling it. And I think part of that is maybe that I had a book hangover from Shogun. That's what I'm blaming it on anyway, because I remember it being a really good book, but for some reason, right now, it wasn't working for me. So yes, I DNF'd it, but only temporarily. I'll probably go back and reread it eventually, or finish rereading it so I can read more books in the series. But for right now, it went on my temporary DNF shelf, unfortunately. I was really sad about that. So that finishes out January. Let's talk about what I plan to read in February, okay? And the first book I'm going to talk about is Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Rainwild Chronicles Quartet, and I am super excited to read more Robin Hobb, guys. I've heard mixed reviews on this particular series, so I know it's not seen as the best that she's written, but I'm still really, really looking forward to it. This will be a buddy read with my friend Danielle over at Bookcara. She and I have been reading through The Realm of the Elderlings together, and this is the next step in our journey. I am so stoked, guys. I am hoping to love it, and even if I don't love it, I'm sure I will like it, because Robin Hobb can do no wrong, in my personal opinion. So the next book on my list is Drist. And I watched some videos about, where to start with Drist. And I fired up a message to my good friend Roger over at Rogers Reads, because I know he is a huge Drist fan. And we had a good conversation, and I determined I'm going to start with the prequel trilogy, the Dark Elf trilogy, which starts with Homeland. So I am going to be reading Homeland in February, and I'm really excited to be doing that as well. I have never read any of the Forgotten Realms books, but I like classic fantasy. I like Dragonlance style fantasy because I've read other books that are similar to that. So I'm looking forward to diving into the world of Drizzt Do'Urden. The next book on my list is Babylon's Ashes. This is book 6 in the Expanse series. You remember me saying I'm hoping to finish the Expanse in 2025. And so I'm on to book 6. This is a buddy read that I have been doing along with my friend Carl over at Geek on My Sleeve. I'm really hoping he and I can coordinate to do this together again, because it's been a really good experience doing the Expanse with him. And so I'm hoping that that's going to work out again. And I can't wait to continue in the Expanse series as well. And then my patron pick for this quarter was Upgrade by Blake Crouch. And I am so excited to read another Blake Crouch book. This is the newest of his standalone books. I think he might have a new one coming out soon. But as for right now, this is the newest of his standalones. I can't wait to see what he's got on the table for Upgrade. I've heard it's really good, so if it's anything as good as Dark Matter and Recursion were, I'm sold. I'll be reading it. Look for a review for that from me in the future as soon as I've finished it. Of course, we have to do my Stein of Power. Now, you might think I'm crazy. You might be thinking, Chaz, you already got 4 books. What are you doing? I know, but look, most of these books are short books, okay? They're going to be quick reads, or at least I think they are. So I'm up for a little challenge of getting a 5th book on the table. And yes, I could go ahead and finish Paternus, but I'm still not feeling it, so we're just going to draw a prompt from my Stein of Power, okay? So I've got my Stein of Power here. All the little prompts are tucked away in here. Let's see what I get. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we have a short book. And that seems like a really great idea for a month with 5 books in the month. So if I have a short book, let's see, I think I have an idea of what I can read for that. Let's see, I think, yes, I can do this. So, that would be The King Killing Queen by Sean Speakman. This is a book set in his Chronicles of Anun. I've been waiting on my copy of The Darkthorn to arrive, and this is kind of set in the same universe, and it's 269 pages. So that qualifies as a good short book. So I'm really excited to read this book for my 5th book in the month of February. So there we go. That takes care of all of my reading updates. Now, I've got some special updates that I need to take care of, and these are creative updates for me. So the first one is, my profile pic on YouTube is going to be changing. And this is the profile pic right here. This is what it's going to be. Don't be alarmed if you see a different picture on my profile and you think it's not me. It is me. The dragon's not going away. The dragon is still going to be on my banner, just no longer in my profile picture. So that's the update there. And then I've got some other exciting updates. I recently finished my website, uploaded it, and it's live. It's all good to go. You can check out my website, chaz-creates.com. I'll leave a link in the description below as well where you can find that. It's going to be in my main channel links on my main channel page. And this has been in the works for a while. I talked about it in my updates at the end of the year last year. And with my newest book releasing recently, The Changing Social Media Landscape, I figured it was really time that I had a central location where everybody can find me. And so make sure you check out my website. There's links to my YouTube channel there. There's links to my books there. And there's a blog there that I've titled News, where I will post regular updates about writing and things like that there as well. Make sure to check out my website. You'll still get updates from me on YouTube as well, but the website is kind of going to be my main hub. YouTube will be my second major hub. So I'm really excited to finally have my website done. I will be making updates to it along the way, so it's by no means a finished product, but it's there and you can check it out and let me know if you have any feedback. I'd love to hear that from you. One of the things that you can click on from the website is my merch store. I do have my merch store finally up and ready to go. I'll be adding new merch as time goes by, but I do have some items up there already. And it is connected with my YouTube channel as well. So if you're wanting to check out some of the merch, you can see links to it in my description below. It'll show you pictures of some of the things that I have on my merch store that you can purchase. And I just want to say that I don't expect you guys to purchase any of those items. This channel still remains free to anybody who wants to watch it. But if you're a mega fan and you've just been dying to get some merch to celebrate your fandom of my channel, then you can click on some of those items and purchase those if you want to. And then finally, I have finished the upgrades to Talendor's Guest. My first book is now completely updated with new formatting. It should be available to you this weekend if it's not available already. So if you've been wanting to read Talendor's Guest but you haven't yet, and you want to buy the newest updated version, you can check that out at the links in my description below. If you already own the ebook, it will automatically update for you. Or at least it should. That's typically how it works. So that's the end of my channel updates. I do want to tell you about a special live stream that's happening this weekend. My friend Nikhil from Shelf Esteem is going to be joining me for a Cosmere catch-up. So we're going to be talking all things Cosmere. There will be spoilers if you haven't read everything in the Cosmere. Keep that in mind. But I'm really excited to finally be able to do this live stream with him. We had scheduled it back in December and everything just got crazy and I wasn't able to make that happen. So we had to postpone it and reschedule it. So it's happening this weekend, tomorrow actually, if you're watching this today on Friday, it's happening tomorrow. So I'll have a link to that in the description below so that you can set your calendars and your clocks and all that good stuff and check it out. All right? So now let's talk about some of my highlights from the month of January. And I had some cool stuff happening in January, guys. My partner and I finished watching Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Really, really enjoyed that show. I don't know why I've waited so long to watch that show because it is absolutely magnificent. Such a great story. And something unique and different from the typical stuff you watch on Netflix. So I really, really enjoyed that. I started watching Skeleton Crew with my roommates, We haven't gotten much further in that, but hoping to crank out some more Skeleton Crew here shortly. Well, it's editing Chads again, guys. I realized that I did not talk about Castlevania Nocturne. It's the second season of Castlevania Nocturne, and we were absolutely blown away by it. It was a fantastic, very entertaining show. I don't know why I neglected to mention it in my monthly update, but I did. So I had to come in and fix that. So now that that's done, here we go back to the video. And then I played several board games in January as well. I played a few more rounds of Catan with my good friends that recently got me into Catan, so that was a lot of fun. We also played Azul together, which is one of my favorite games, so I taught Azul to them. I also got to play a game called Colt Express, which is a train robbing game. So it kind of takes place in the Old West, and everybody at the table is playing as a different bandit trying to rob this train, and it's quite a unique gameplay experience. I quite enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And then, if you're familiar with Wingspan, created by Stonemaier Games, I got to play Wormspan. And I've played Wingspan in the past, and Wingspan is about, collecting birds and trying to collect different colored birds and different sizes and types of birds. But Wormspan is the same idea, but with dragons. And guys, I absolutely loved Wormspan. It is such a fun game. I definitely think I need to own Wormspan. I have no desire to own Wingspan. It was fine, but Wormspan is where it's at, guys. I absolutely loved it, and I hope to play it again and again over time. It combines a great gameplay mechanic with dragons, and I love dragons, so that was a lot of fun. Let me know if you played Wormspan before and what you thought of it. I'd love to hear that from you. And that concludes my monthly update. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Let me know some of the fun things that you got up to in January and what you got planned for February. And until next time, guys, make sure you read more books. I'll talk with you very soon. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to my patrons. I really appreciate all you do to support my channel.